Hey guys, it's Melanie. Happy Tuesday. Welcome back to the second candle review of the day. We are tackling Kringle Country Candle Watermelon Pops. That's a mouthful. Try saying that fast 3 times in a row. This fragrance is available exclusively in the Country Candle line, which I have told you guys before is actually not my favorite. I am still the biggest fan of their soy formula, but I did pick up a number of the new country candles for the spring because they came out with so many yummy, delicious, fruity scents. The fragrances themselves are fantastic. I do wish that they also came out with these fruity fragrances in the soy candle formula, because personally for me, paraffin is a lot more high maintenance and I just don't get the performance from it that I would really like. So, but it's definitely a personal preference thing. So I don't think there's anything wrong with the Country Candle line. For me, it's just that they're paraffin. But a lot of the fragrances that Mick puts in the Country Candle line are really actually some of my favorites, especially these fruity ones. So Watermelon Pops, which is what we're going to be reviewing today, is available in a couple of different formats here in the Country Candle line. So I am sharing the large 2-wick jar. This is also available in the medium size jar. You can get this as a daylight if you just kind of want to check this fragrance out and see for yourself if you like it. And it's also available in their wax melts. And before the end of this video, I'm going to tell you guys about a few of the sales that are happening at Kringle right now. I know a lot of you were waiting for some of these sales to come around, so we'll get to that part. But first, let's go ahead and review the candle. So obviously here we have the 2-wick paraffin formula. I'm going to show you guys what I am working with right now. We are at the halfway point, which is something that I have promised you guys that I would try to do as much as possible before reviewing candles, just so we can see if there are any like performance issues. Typically for me, if a candle does well to the halfway point, with the exception of most Bath & Body Works candles, if it does well to the halfway point, it probably bodes well for the remainder of the candle, right? So we're at the halfway point. I will say with paraffin, there is a discoloration that happens in the wax, and you can see here, you get a nice wax pull from this one for sure, but the original color of the wax down here, which literally looks like the inside of a watermelon, I have to say that they really nailed the color of this wax perfectit. It literally looks like the inside of a watermelon. But when you burn the paraffin, it kind of turns gross in my opinion. I don't like this color change, and their soy formula keeps that beautiful kind of creamy white shade throughout pretty much the entire candle, which I think is just super, super impressive. Sorry, let me turn off my dinger here. So yeah, by the way, I have not been wiping the wicks on my on this particular fragrance just to see if you know, basically what it would do. And it's doing what all other paraffin candles have done for me, which is there's a little bit of soot that has definitely accumulated like on the edges here. It's not bad. This one actually is pretty clean, probably one of the more cleaner, and you can see a little bit right there. Am I in frame? Yeah, sorry, I'm sitting kind of far away from the camera, but what I've been doing with my country candles as of late is before lighting them, I've been taking a tissue and wiping that excess, just that kind of black carbon off of the wicks prior to lighting, and I have found that that has, for the most part, given me a much cleaner burn. If you've never tried that, it's very easy to do that with the country candles. The only thing is, once I get to the halfway point, it gets harder for me to like stuff my sausage fingers in there to like get the tissue around the wick and to, you know, do that little wipe up motion. So I really think in the future when I purchase the country candles, I'm just gonna stick with the medium jars. That'll be much easier for me to keep the wicks clean. So if you see me continuing to buy the large jars, tell me to stop because I wanted to stop. The price point, by the way, from the large jar to the medium isn't really drastically different. The large jars are $28.50 and the mediums are $25.50. So for me, since I don't love the formula quite as much on the country candles, it would probably make sense to stick with the medium jars anyway. So yeah, there is a little bit of like discoloration, sooting that is happening with this one, and it just kind of reminds me that I really should stick with that wick wiping trick prior to lighting them up. It has made a big difference. Someone also mentioned that I could use a Illumilid. I can't find any of my old Yankee Candle Illumilids, so yeah, and I'm not gonna go to Yankee to buy one, and I'm not gonna order one either. So if I happen to come across one, I'll definitely test that out, but I've looked through all of my stuff. I know I didn't give them away, and I know I didn't throw them away, so they've gotta be somewhere in this house. So if I find one, I'll try to use it and then report back to you guys, of course. Let's talk about the fragrance and then the strength and the throw, and yeah, we can wrap this review up. This one's pretty basic. I will say the fragrance itself, absolutely delicious, super authentic, love it. So your scent description is: the perfect cool off on those hot summer days are frozen ice pops, and our watermelon pop scent is ultra refreshing with sweet watermelon, tangy lime, and a sprig of fresh mint. If you don't like mint, like I don't like mint, it's cool because I don't really get much mint from this. I think it might be like kind of like a nice little accent in there, but my nose does not pick it up. I am not a mint person. When I smell mint, I think gum. I don't want a candle to smell like gum. So your top notes here are watermelon and lime. Your mid notes are lemon, green, which I think is referring to kind of like that, maybe like that fresh green grassy type of note. Watermelon again, and your base is sugar, and once again, watermelon. We are heavy on the watermelon in the top, middle, and base notes here. And really that is predominantly what you are getting from this. The way I would describe this watermelon is kind of a mix of a like Jolly Rancher watermelon with actually a fresh watermelon. I think it's kind of right in between those two. It's not artificial smelling, but it also doesn't quite smell like just sticking your nose into a freshly cut watermelon during the middle of summer. It has a little bit of like that candied note to it. I really like it. I like the watermelon they used here. I think it's delicious, but I also, when I was a kid, was a huge fan of the watermelon Jolly Ranchers. The watermelon and green apple, definitely my thing. In terms of those citrus notes of the lime and the lemon, I do detect just a little bit of both, but this is by no means going to come across as a fresh citrus scent at all. I think what the lemon and the lime does is it just kind of complements that watermelon. It doesn't change the fragrance from a predominantly watermelon-based scent to my nose. This is definitely a sweet scent. If you like sweet, fruity candles, you're gonna like this one. I will say it's not cloying at all. It just kind of has the perfect amount of sweetness. And you would think with that like candied watermelon note that I detect that it would come across as maybe almost borderline cloying. It's really not. I think it's really well done. It's fresh, it's refreshing. It definitely brings on the summer vibes, even though today we are currently dealing with snow melting. This really does smell like summer, you guys. I have never been one to eat watermelon popsicles. When I buy popsicles for my daughter, she really prefers strawberry popsicles. she's never been like a big watermelon girl. So this could very well smell like a watermelon popsicle, but I wouldn't know. We do raspberry and we do watermelon popsicles, and those are delicious. Highly recommend. But this is not overly sweet. It's not cloying. It's not obnoxious. It's not offensive. It's just really a pleasant summertime scent, and I think a lot of you are gonna love this one. In terms of the performance, so the strength and throw, for me, the country candles are lighter than the soy candles when I burn them in my house. Paraffin does tend to get lost a little bit more. Now, I have been burning this predominantly in my front fancy lady living room, which is where I film my weekly home fragrance roundup every week. It does just fine in that room. It just doesn't travel very far. And that is my thing with paraffin, is I find that it also doesn't travel quite as well for me. So the throw is a little bit of a compromise there. The strength of this, I would put at about a 5. And the throw, I would put at more of like, maybe like a 4 to a 5, somewhere in there. It's definitely a room filling candle, but it is not a candle that fills really any of like the majority of the downstairs of my house. So I'm gonna turn you guys around here really quickly. Sorry for the awkward transition, but that's the room where I burn it. You can see this room has a kind of big opening. I can smell it right here in the entryway, but it does not go anywhere into the dining room, and it does not travel back here towards the back of the house at all. It just kind of stays in there. And if you are the type of person that really prefers to have like room specific candles, this might be a great one for you to check out. But if you are someone who expects a candle to scent your entire house, I don't think that this would do it. You could certainly pair it with the wax melts to kind of give it a little bit more oomph. And the Kringle wax melts are nice. I will say they only last about a day for me in my warmers. I use my Kringle melts in my 25 and 40 watt Scentsy warmers. The 40 watt warmers, by the way, are just, they use the Edison bulb style. And, you know, I don't know. I don't really have any other brands of warmers. So I wish that I could tell you, you know, how the Kringle country candle wax melts would do in like a Better Homes and Gardens, or a warmer from like Oak and Rye, or, you know, any of like the other brands that are out there. But yeah, I just have Scentsy in my house at this point in terms of warmers. So, it melts. It definitely melts the wax, but the majority of the fragrance has dissipated by the end of like an 8, 9, 10 hour warming session. The next day when I light it up, the warmer, the scent is kind of dead by that point. So that being said, usually the wax melts are on some kind of sale. But yeah, anyway, this fragrance, the fragrance itself gets 2 thumbs up. My only wish is that it was available in the soy formula, because I just love that so much more, and it just does much better in my house. But it's a great scent, you guys. If you like these delicious fruity summer scents, you've got to go check out the Country Candle line, because they release some delicious things. I will put a link to Kringle Candle down below. You can use my discount code. It is for 15% off. That is an affiliate discount code, so please don't use that if you're not comfortable with those. But let's go ahead and talk about some of the sales they're having right now, because I know you guys were waiting. So there is an Easter and a spring sale happening right now. So you can do the 3 for $60 select large jars, and this is all on their website. Again, the link will be down below. So any of the ones that are within that part, because it is selected, so there's only certain fragrances that are within that. You can do the 3 for $60 large jars. You can also do the 3 for $40 select medium jars. And it looks like a lot of the new scents are in that sale. So if you've been waiting for a sale on the new scents, you should be able to get what you want from the new stuff within those sales. The discount code of the extra 15% off should apply as well. The other sales that they are having are the, there is a 40% off the select 3-wick jars. So if you're curious about those, you can check those out. And by the way, there are some new candles coming up here very shortly. They're going to be coming out with a floral line. I know my friend Brett is probably jumping for joy. I know that he is probably going to be super, super excited to share those. It looks like those should be available on the 15th of April, so coming up here very shortly. So if you are a floral person, be sure to check back, and those will be available shortly here. So anyway, I hope that this review was helpful. Let me know if you have tried the Country Candle Watermelon Pops. Let me know what your thoughts are. And yeah, check out the description box for the links that I mentioned. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I will see you in the next one. Take care. Toodaloo.